You've outlined the story. Now let's talk about interviewing. Hi, I'm Sheena, a videographer and podcast producer. Interviewing may look easy, but I realized you gotta prepare before the conversation. Interviewing gives insight into the topic and also helps to communicate additional information about the topic. Here are 5 tips about how to help you prepare for your first podcast interview. Research. Decide if you'll interview an expert or a friend or family. If you're interviewing an expert, research the person online. Once you've got an idea of who you would like to interview, set up pre-interview or conversation with this person or people. If these conversations are interesting and you vibe with the person, then you'll know the actual interview will be interesting and you've made the right choice. So you know who you interview, but what will you talk about? Writing questions. There are 2 types of questions: open-ended questions, closed-ended questions. Closed-ended questions will result in short answers. Do you like music? Do you like Young Jeezy? Open-ended questions result in much more interesting responses. What type of music do you enjoy? What do you think of Young Jeezy? Make sure you ask open-ended questions because you'll get detailed answers. Ask simple questions. Your interview subject's words are by far the most important part of the interview. Outline questions that are easy to understand. This will help the person you're interviewing, interviewee, feel comfortable, and your interview will feel more like a conversation. You've got an interviewee and great questions. Now let's talk about the interview. Here are a couple of things to consider when interviewing. Listen. Focus on the conversation, not the interview. It's extremely easy to drift off while the other person is talking. Listen for opportunities for follow-up questions. Ask follow-up questions. If you are curious about your guests, your listeners will hear that you care. Follow-up questions show you are listening and make the interview interesting for the podcast. Now that you know what it takes for a successful interview, let's plan your interview. Research and decide who you will interview and write at least 5 questions. Remember, open-ended questions are best. In our podcast, On Me, my episode is about death. Exciting, right? I researched and decided to interview Henry. He's from Chicago and has lost his older brother and younger brother. Here are a couple of open-ended questions from my interview with Henry. What was your first experience with death? Why do you think it hurts so bad when you lose someone? In the next video, we'll talk about branding your podcast.